What's going on, baseball fans? How you doing? The lockout is getting closer and closer. We're only a couple hours away, but we had a lot of moves happen today. Marcus Stroman, Chris Taylor, Mark Melancon, Corey Knebel, Rich Hill, Dylan Bundy, much more. Let's get to it. And what is going on, baseball fans? Hello. 161 people to start things off. Hope you're all doing well. Happy December, by the way. I don't know if you guys noticed in the on the starting soon screen, I had a little bit of a little bit of a Christmas tune playing. Are you getting in the holiday spirit? I love the holiday spirit. I love Christmas time. It's my favorite time of the year. Hey. Gotta love just giving the gifts, getting the gifts, and just eating a lot of food. That's my favorite time of the year. I mean, what else is better than that? You know what would be better than that? You know what would be better? Having an off season, being able to continue. Unfortunately, it's not looking like we're going to have that. Could we have Christmas come early within the next 2 hours and 15 minutes? Probably not. I don't think Santa Claus is coming. I think Rob Manfred, a.k.a. the Grinch, is coming instead. But we do have a lot of moves to talk about. We had a lot of stuff happen today. Some big names coming off of the board. Some big names still on the board. We're going to talk about those guys. But before I do get to it, everyone, hit that subscribe button for me if you are new. We are so close to 16,000 subscribers, I can almost taste it. I think we're within like 30 people. So if you are new, looking for more baseball news and content, think about hitting that subscribe button. Everyone, hit the like button for me. That's going to help get this stream out there to more baseball fans. The YouTube algorithm likes those like buttons. It also liked the dislike buttons, but that's not there anymore either. Hit the bell notification as well. What the heck is going on here in the chat? What are we doing? Is that the Calf Neck Army? Is that the Calf Neck Army trying to ruin the stream right now? Moderators, where are you at? Everyone, share the stream if you can. And let's get to it, everyone. We got a lot to talk about. I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces in the chat, along with someone wanting to spam the chat. Are you kidding me? But anyway, let's move on. We got a couple of juicy things to talk about. The first thing that we got to talk about here, as much as I want to get to the free agent news, rumors, I mean, we got to talk about this lockout. We're about 2 hours and 13 minutes away. Not looking like it's going to get done by then. No surprise, honestly. I didn't really see that happening. But negotiations, it's looking like they have ended. The lockout is drawing closer. So let's take a look here at basically what has been the latest in the lockout news. And how unfortunate, you know, we had so much fun this past week, going back to this past weekend. It has been probably one of the more fun off seasons that I can remember. I mean, don't get me wrong, I have witnessed a lot of off seasons in how many years now, and I've definitely had some fun times. Like, we've had some fun signings. My Red Sox have had some fun signings over the years, blockbuster trades, but never this much, this quick. It is, it's wonderful. It feels like the trade deadline in the offseason, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't mind keeping it around. I don't mind. I really hope that you keep doing this every single year. I would absolutely love that. Hey, what can you do? Kara Hightower has become a member for the second straight month. Kara Hightower, thank you so much. Really appreciate your support. Also, everyone, we do have memberships on the channel for just 99 cents a month. You can have badges and emojis in the chat, and you get access to a private Discord to be able to talk baseball throughout the day. But Lockout. Let's talk about it. So Jeff Passan, he posted this at around 2:30 today. After a 7-minute meeting with top union officials, MLB negotiators are leaving the hotel where bargaining has taken place. It's unclear whether they'll return. If they don't, that could be the last discussion before a lockout. I haven't seen anything else, but Evan Drellich, he wrote this up today. So as talks break off between Major League Baseball and the Players Union, the most divisive issues include revenue sharing, years to arbitration, and luxury tax. So basically, hey, the players, they're trying to get more for the players. I mean, obviously, that's what they're trying to do here. That's why they have a union. So, but the biggest thing is they want to, if we take a look here, let me pull up the highlights of this article here. So they're talking about, increasing the league minimum salary, which I'm not surprised about. If your revenue is increasing every single year, the league minimum salary should increase as well. Honestly, I wish they would do more for the minor league players. It's unfortunate, seeing how low these guys get paid. And I get it because there's so many minor league players. You don't know if they're going to pan out, but you wish they could do more for those guys down there, boost up their pay a little bit. Waylon B, just subscribe. What's going on? How are we doing? But it says here, MLB is willing to Major League Baseball is willing to increase it less than what the players want. No surprise there. Major League Baseball has also offered to raise the luxury tax thresholds from the present 210 to 214 million, and then eventually 220 million. So I know it might not seem like a lot, but I feel like 210 and 214 million. I mean, that really could end. If that's what it ends up being around, that's actually not bad. I mean, because you think about it, that's a pretty decent, that's a good reliever for the bullpen. That's a good guy for the bench. That's like a nice piece to add to your team. Could you maybe split somewhere in the middle, maybe raise it to, 217? Margaret Bosenbark has just subscribed. What is going on? Hello. So no surprise there. I think that would be helpful to teams. I think that would just be good for everyone involved. And that it's just going to get, obviously it's going to help players out, try and get some more deals. A lot of these teams, man, what is going on? Well, ball cap, is this ball cap sports? What are we doing here? Anyway, so moderators, are you here? Where are the moderators in the chat? We're getting attacked right now. Is this the calf neck army? What is going on? Is that ball cap sports? What are we doing? Anyway. But MLB is willing to increase league minimum salary. They're looking at increasing the luxury tax, but then also they're looking at the arbitration. So let me actually find that here in the article so I can read it. So, and also the players want to get these players to arbitration earlier. They want to be able to have these guys make money sooner. So simple as that. So it really is, I feel like, just the finer details at this point. There are talks of where I feel like there is going to be some kind of an expansion of the playoffs. The Major League Baseball, they propose to increase it to a 14-team playoff. And so in the process, encountering, the players offered a 12-team playoff. So I wonder, I feel like 12 teams is actually kind of nice. I feel like I would like that. Oh, is the music loud? I apologize. Here, let me get the music down for you. I thought maybe that would have been a little loud. Is that better? Let's see if that's better. Is that a little better, everyone? Let me know. Give me a thumbs up in the chat if the music is good. I don't want to bother anyone at home. Still a little loud. All right, I'll give it a little bit of a. Let's go down to 35.3. I feel like that might be the sweet spot. Is this good? All right, we'll keep it there. I'd rather have it be, a little more on the quiet side. I don't want it to be too loud. Apologies, everyone. Sorry about that. But arbitration, the players want it to come sooner. They definitely want, more. At the end of the day, it's going to be more money. As simple as that. I feel like the 12-team playoff is a nice sweet spot. I feel like that's going to be I like that. I don't like the 14 teams. I think that's too much right now. If you are going to increase it, I think 12 teams is fine. But then also, the players have also offered to completely redesign the American League and the National League. Let me actually see here. MLBPA. Let me just, how do I even search for this? League divisions. I can't remember where I found the article. But they offered to kind of revamp. Here we go. So let me go to this one right here. I couldn't remember what the article was. So let's see here. Hypers, just subscribe. What's going on? Major League Baseball, they would keep the existing system or change eligibility to 29.5 rather than 6 years of Major League service. So that's another thing. They don't want it to be the 6 years because the players, they've gotten kind of the short end of the stick a lot on that. It's not very good, where, someone like Kris Bryant, where they kind of manipulated his service time a little bit. Even, someone like a Wander Franco, they kind of manipulated his time a little bit too. Yeah, here, Nicholas, Nicholas Carrasio, you are the new moderator, my friend. Help me out in the chat. I think that's going to be a better system. I think you should make it about the Nahawand. I see you in the chat too. There you go, my friend. There you go. A couple new moderators in the chat. Help us out. Orioles is here. All right, we got 3 moderators in the chat now. Thank you so much, everyone. Here we go. Now, let me get to there's also something on free agent draft pick compensation. Major League Baseball would agree to eliminate penalties for teams signing free agents who turn down a qualifying offer. Draft pick compensation has existed since 1976, so that's something there. We already talked about the salary arbitration. They want to kind of make it more of an age thing instead of a service time thing. Now, we already talked about the luxury tax, so that's something that's going on there. Ben Chavez has just subscribed. What's going on? Also, something for the draft, too. There's actually a lot going on here. Major League Baseball, they proposed an NBA, NHL-style draft lottery for the top 3 selections. Very interesting. So where so if you know with the NBA, they don't go based off of records. They go off of basically the worse record you have, the more percent chance you have of getting the first pick. Doesn't mean you're going to get it. So I actually wouldn't mind that because I feel like lately in the last few years, 5 years, you've been seeing a lot on the whole tanking thing. So that could be a system in place that maybe, but Major League Baseball, the Players Association, they accepted the concept of a weighted lottery, but would expand the number of teams to 8 and make adjustments designed to incentivize competition. So I think that could be good as well. So that's, you got to remember with these lockouts, there is so much back and forth. I mean, it's all these little things that you're not thinking of. It's not just revenue. It's not just arbitration. It's not just, it's not just, sorry, I lost my train of thought. It's not just all the money. It's all the draft picks. It's all these little things that you're just not even thinking about. Let me see here. We talked about minimum salary. Oh, here's what I was looking for. Postseason. Major League Baseball. So their offer was to expand the postseason from 10 to 14 teams, with the wild cards increasing 2 per league to 4. The division winner with the best record in each league would advance directly to the division series, and the other 2 division winners and wild card teams would start in the best of 3 round. So Major League Baseball Players Association, they offered a 12-team expanded playoffs, but they also said here possible realignment to 2 divisions per league. So no more 3 division. Now they just want 2. That's very interesting. Very interesting. So I can almost see it because where sometimes you have division winners where, those divisions just aren't really that strong. There's been a lot of times where you've had, wild card winners be better than division winners. So that could almost kind of aid in that department. So there's also the designated hitter. I think that's going to be something that they agree on. I feel like everyone wants it. I don't see I don't see why anyone would disagree on it at this point. I think there's too many pros to not have the universal DH. So uniform advertisements. This is an interesting one. Major League Baseball, they've proposed adding uniform advertising, while the MLBPA, they agree. I guess it just depends on what kind of advertisements. So, and then there's the whole revenue sharing. Players Association says MLB has rejected all of its proposed changes. This is kind of the big one here, and indicated that it would not agree to any changes. MLB says the changes would eliminate $100 million of revenue sharing money currently going to small market teams in a system that has been largely in place since the 1997 agreement. So that's something they're going to have to hash out, where that seems to be a big sticking point. Oh, we got a member! Akina has become a member. Thank you so much. Thank you. If you go to the community tab on my channel, you'll find the link to the Discord. So that way you can talk baseball throughout the day. Thank you so much. There's international draft. Major League Baseball has proposed an international draft, which the MLBPA has long opposed. So that's something they're going to have to figure out as well. On-field rule changes. MLB proposed a joint committee, including at least 4 active players, to discuss potential on-field rule changes. And that's pretty much that. So there's a lot. There's a lot here. You got money stuff. You got division realignment. You got postseason realignment. You got arbitration. You got draft. So to me, no surprise. I see a lot of people on the Twitter machine. They like to say, oh, what have they been doing this whole time? They've had all this time. Why couldn't they get this done? Hey, things change. People want different things over time. And you got to kind of see how things play out over time. And unfortunately, this happens a lot. Collective bargaining agreements, not just in sports, but just in, throughout many industries, it takes sometimes a lot more time to figure it out. So, yeah. I'm a teacher. We have all the time the teachers union and, whatever county it belongs to. There's always collective bargaining going on. It's never an easy process. So I think, I understand it. I'm in an industry or I'm in a profession where, the teachers union, they are just like, sometimes I feel like they just ask way too much. And sometimes I think they can get a little silly. So, it's always back and forth. It's tug of war at that point. But in the end, I've said this a million times. I think it seems like there hasn't really been, when we go back to how it was, during the pandemic season, during that work stoppage, that seemed so much more negative than what this is. I feel like it almost feels like Jeff Passan, guys like Evan Drellich, they're trying to almost make it sound a lot more negative than it is. I don't think it's all that bad. I think really, they're just having some sticking points. I'll give it a month. I don't know. Hopefully by the new year, it gets done. Because you know what? I mean, look at how good business has been. Look at what's been going on with all these contracts. Money's doing good. I think in the end, you just had the whole pandemic thing happen, right? You just had that work stoppage where, and you could easily say it got delayed because they couldn't agree. Do they want something like that again? They already left a bad taste, in the fans' mouth over that. Do you really want to risk that again? I think you need to, because you can always go back to the table. You can always agree to things. You can agree to a collective bargaining agreement, and you can always agree, to adjust things, if need be. So I think it would be in their best interest, get this done. They all know it. So, but it sounds like a lot of good is happening, but it's just a matter of, coming to terms on these smaller details. That's what I think is going on. So Let me know in the chat, what do you think is going to end up happening? How long do you think this lockout will last? Do you think it'll maybe only a week, couple weeks, a month, 2 months? Could we miss some season time? Let me know what you think in the chat. Let me know what you think in the chat. Robert, I'm not trying to, my friend. I'm not trying to get myself in trouble over here, but I mean, I'm just saying, you know, I don't know. Sometimes they can be a little ridiculous. Jacob Law, what's going on, my friend? Hey, happy to have you back, man. Happy to have you back. Jake Hall, you're thinking a month or two. Nick Salvati, Schwarber is going to Philly. I think that would be a great move. What's going on? How are we doing? How are we doing? X-Bolt X, what's going on? Let me know your predictions, everyone. Cletus, you said 3 months. Yes, Roman Johnson. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. Jacob Law, you're thinking a couple weeks, few weeks. Okay. Nicholas, one of our new moderators. I hope just a few weeks. Realistically, maybe a few months. Jack Barry, did I see Mark Berman's tweet? I don't believe I did. Mark Berman. According to Major League Baseball sources, the agent for free agent shortstop Carlos Correa has heard from the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Dodgers, Cubs, and Braves. Well, yeah, I'm not surprised that the agent is saying something like that. He's got to keep the market boosted, you know. Yeah, we'll talk about Carlos Correa here in a little bit. I'll actually pull that up for when we go back. So, but yeah, I'm thinking again lockout. I'm thinking probably, I don't know. I'll go a month. I'll go a month, maybe 2 months. I hope it's not 2 months. Oh, can you imagine my potato brain trying to come up with content for the channel? You know, I'm so used to doing these live streams talking about the news, and the only news we're gonna have is lockout stuff. So I've been putting off the MLB The Show stuff. That might be when I have to bust it out. So we'll see. But here we go, everyone. Let's get to our next story. Let's actually let's get away from the lockout stuff. Let's get to some juicy free agent news. And hey, one of the top pitchers coming off of the board, we have Marcus Stroman going to the Cubs. Whoever did this Photoshop did a phenomenal job. A phenomenal job. Whoever did that, kudos. But the Cubs have signed Marcus Stroman. To me, this is a great move for the Chicago Cubs. However, I think you got to pump the brakes a little bit. I'm seeing a lot of Cubs fans out there, you know, calling for a World Series already. But let's go take a look here. Marcus Stroman, yes, he's your ace. To me, I think the Cubs needed to get a guy like this. I don't think they needed to right away go for an ace, you know, like a top level kind of a guy. I don't think you needed that right off the bat. But a Marcus Stroman, someone who is a good number 2 in your staff, or at least like an excellent top of the line number 3 in like a really good rotation. In this Cubs rotation, which was absolutely terrible last season, he's your ace. And I think he's a nice piece to have. Every year he gives you innings. He's durable. You know, I like the move a lot. If we take a look here at the deal, it's a 3-year, $71 million contract with an opt-out after the second season. So he'll have 2022 and he'll have 2023. So if we take a look here, Jeff Passan says Stroman will earn $25 million plus a potential $2 million in escalators in each of the first 2 seasons before he must decide whether to opt out of the remaining $21 million. So it is a bit front-loaded. So take that in mind. Now that's a big thing right there. That $21 million. I think it depends on how the Cubs are looking at that point. I think that's going to be a big thing. But also, I could definitely see Stroman opting out too, because that's not that much. You know, compared, you know, if he were to get these escalators to get bumped in, you know, he could potentially earn $27 million a season. And then he goes from 27 to 21. He might want to opt out and maybe, you know, rework that deal. So we'll have to wait and see, but he's definitely getting a raise here. If we take a look at the stats for Marcus Stroman, 33 starts, 3.02 ERA. One thing to take note of, the FIP was a smidge higher, 3.49, but not too much of a difference. But Marcus Stroman, what you're going to get with him is, hey, 7, 8, 9 strikeouts per 9, somewhere in that range. He's not going to give up a lot of home runs, more of a ground ball kind of a guy. He pitches to contact, and that's actually one thing I want to look up here. Let's see how the Cubs did when it came to fielding last year. Where did the Cubs rank? The Cubs 16th. So, but they were 29th in defensive runs saved. Oh, Trevor Smallwood with a $9.99 super chat. Trevor Smallwood, thank you so much. I appreciate the support, my friend. Thank you, thank you. That is much appreciated, my friend. Thank you for coming out tonight. But the Cubs, hey, they were 13th in defensive runs saved last year. So, hey, with Marcus Stroman, you have a decent infield. If we take a look here at the infield, that's not the Cubs, that's the Dodgers. What am I doing? You also just got Yan Gomes. You just got Yan Gomes. Pretty good defensive catcher as well. I mean, he's not going to be the starter, but Wilson Contreras, he's there. So, yeah, I mean, you got guys like, Nico Horner out there. He's got a pretty decent glove. And then, Patrick Wisdom over at third base, Nick Madrigal. How was Patrick Wisdom, actually, with his defense last year? Yeah, he was pretty good. 3.5 defensive runs above average. Let's actually see. Nick Madrigal, how has his defense been? I always think of the bat. 2020, negative 0.7, but he had a 1.3 this past year. Actually, Nico Horner, let me actually see the exact number. Yeah, so 2.7 in 2021, 3.1 in 2020. So he's projected to have a 5.1 defense. That's very good for, hey, with someone like Stroman on the mound. It's not bad if you ask me. Yeah, that infield, I like it. I like the infield, so that's going to be very nice for Marcus Stroman. But here's the thing. Here's where I want to pump the brakes a little bit. Listen, this Cubs team, on paper right now, you're probably still looking at a third or fourth place team. Marcus Stroman does not bring you to the promised land. To me, this is a nice building block for a team that is in a retooling phase. Now, could you go out and maybe get one more guy? I think Carlos Rodon just makes a ton of sense. I don't know. I just feel like that just seems like a guy. I know he wants, a multi-year deal, but maybe the Cubs don't want to take a chance on the health, but I feel like that could be a pretty high reward kind of a play. I don't know. I would love Carlos Rodon on the Cubs. Give him a little extra for that rotation right there. And then Alec Mills, I don't know. I just, when I look at Alec Mills, I'm thinking of a guy that's like a long reliever kind of a guy. So depth kind of a guy. So I'd like Carlos Rodon there. If you can add another piece like that, I think that'd be really good. But if we take a look at what the Cubs are looking like right now, you added someone like Clint Frazier, Yan Gomes. I think they're going to have a decent team this coming year. I think they're going to be pretty good. I think they could make a run at, maybe a second place finish. I think the Cardinals or the Brewers, those are two still really good teams. I don't know. Maybe the Brewers take a bit of a step back. You're losing an Aviseo Garcia. The starting pitching is still really good. Your bullpen's still looking really strong at the back end. Hopefully, no one is breaking their hand. Mr. Devin Williams. Hope we're not puncturing any walls, Mr. Devin Williams. But with the Brewers, they're still looking pretty good. Cardinals, I think, are actually looking extremely good. But the Cubs, I think you could see a third place team there. I mean, who knows what happens with the Reds. But I'm not going to count this Cubs team out. They actually still have a pretty decent bullpen. So, and add another guy or two for that bullpen. I think the Cubs can be in pretty decent shape. But when I'm thinking of the Cubs, I'm thinking towards, like 2023. If we take a look at some free agents for 2023, some starting pitchers is what I'm kind of thinking. Don't forget, with the Cubs, you got some pretty decent arms down in the minor leagues. Someone like a Braylon Marquez, who is one of your top prospects at the moment. Someone, like a Corey Abbott, who could see some major league time this year. Or he did see a little bit this past year, but Corey Abbott, this is a guy where, and then Braylon Marquez, he actually dealt with some injuries last year, but let's actually pull up some numbers with them. So these are some guys where, Corey Abbott, he had a bit of a rough go in AAA last year, but he's had some pretty good numbers, going from AA to low A ball. So maybe he can get it turned around. He did not have a good time with the Cubs last year out of the bullpen, but overall with him, You know, he's not going to have much of a fastball. Akina, $4.99 super chat. Imagine hurting yourself for the rest of the postseason while celebrating. Wait, did he hurt himself while celebrating? Is that what happened with Devin Williams? I don't know if that's who you're talking about, because I just mentioned that. But did he hurt himself celebrating? Or didn't he get angry about something? Or did he get upset about something? I don't remember. Can anyone inform me? I forgot how Devin Williams hurt himself. I thought it was he got annoyed about something. But I don't know. Either way, can pitchers please stop hurting themselves? I don't know why. Like, if you're, you know, I don't know. Why do pitchers want to just destroy the thing that gives them a job? I don't understand that. Oh yeah, he was drinking a little bit, was he? Oh, he was celebrating? I'm thinking, okay. All right, so yeah, he was celebrating. All right. Yeah, sorry about that. Either way, I mean, just so ridiculous. So ridiculous. Why are you punching walls while celebrating? Why? I thought he got upset at something for some. I thought he got in like an argument or something. I'm probably thinking of someone else. Anyway, thank you for the super chat. Very much appreciated. Going back here to Corey Abbott, you know, not a lot. He's going to be a guy that has good control, you know, good slider. If he can get some of these other things going, maybe he could be a decent piece. But the one guy I'm looking at is someone like a Braylon Marquez, who, as of right now, big fastball, 70 fastball, has a potential to be an 80 fastball. That's a top-of-the-line fastball right there. Good changeup, has the potential to be a 55. Command needs to get worked on a bit. Slider needs to improve. But if we take a look here, he hasn't pitched since 2020. Had a lot of issues last year. So hopefully he can come back this year and provide something for the Cubs. That'd be a nice boost. But basically with the Cubs, I look at Marcus Stroman as someone that is a building block. I think this is a guy where you're not adding him really for this year. Sure, yes, he's going to give your team a boost this year. He's going to give you something to get excited about at Wrigley. He's going to sell some jerseys. He's going to sell some merch. But overall, I think he's a part of something bigger. So now, if we're taking a look at some free agents, I mean, you know, you got some guys who have some player options. Could you imagine Jacob deGrom opting out of his deal, signing with the Chicago Cubs? Oh, that would be rather nice. Maybe Chris Sale, if he bounces back, maybe he opts out, maybe goes back to Chicago, but this time with the Cubs. If we take a look at some unrestricted free agents after this season, so yeah, David Price, nah. I mean, who knows? Maybe Noah Syndergaard has himself a really good year with the Angels, you know, signs a good deal with the Cubs. Maybe. You got someone like Nathan Eovaldi, you know. Trying to look here. Who else we got? Mike Clevenger is going to be a free agent. Sean Manaea. That could be a decent arm. Joe Musgrove's going to be a free agent. Zach Eflin. You got some decent arms, you know, coming up, becoming free agents next year. So there is potential. I mean, who knows? Maybe some of these guys opt out. Let me look at the guys who have player options again. Hey, Trevor Bauer too. So I know that might not sound like the most enticing free agent as of right now, but here's the thing. Trevor Bauer, you know, if he comes back this year, which I'm thinking probably a good chance he will, you know, because I don't know, it doesn't seem like there's enough evidence to be able to, you know, do anything in that case. He's back on YouTube. He's doing everything that he used to do. So I don't know. Who knows what ends up happening with that? But I don't know. I'm just pointing out the possibilities. So how hilarious would it be? I'm sorry, Mets fans. I'm not trying to put this, you know, image in your head, but DeGrom, if he opts out, and, you know, yeah, actually, did you guys realize DeGrom's already 33 years old? Do you guys already realize that? I for some reason, I'm thinking Jacob deGrom is like 25 years old. I don't know why I'm thinking. I didn't even realize he was already 33. Anyway, I would think that's hilarious. He ends up having like a Cy Young season this year, opts out, and then he signs with the Cubs. Mets fans, I'm sorry. But who knows? Maybe that's what ends up happening here. You know, I think Marcus Stroman, he's a part of something bigger. He's a good building block. Doesn't bring you a championship this year. Makes you a better team, but doesn't bring you a championship. But let me know what you think here in the chat. I'm going to read a couple of comments before I move on to the next story. Let me know what you guys think. Did you like the move? Do you think it's a good move for the Chicago Cubs? I feel like everyone is pretty much in agreement that it's a good move. I think, got some pretty decent infield defense there for Stroman. So, hey, Ethan, my friend, welcome back. Yeah, Simply Fog. DeGrom, I mean, honestly, I thought the dude was like 25 years old. He looks like a giant baby. I don't understand. Carson, love the content. Keep it up. Thank you very much. I was hoping that'd be good. Become a moderator. Here you go, my friend. There, you know what? Here, we could use. Why not? Let's do it. There you go, my friend. Thank you, Carson. But let's move on here. We got another story. Here. We got Chris Taylor going back to the LA Dodgers. And I think, hey, you know what? Chris Taylor was a great fit with any team because of the versatility. But you know what? I think with the Dodgers, he's called that place home for a while now. And to me, why not just run it back? Keep it going. I think it just makes a lot of sense. So there we go. There we go, Zachary. But let's get to it here. Here is the deal. This actually just happened not too long ago, about a couple hours ago. Let's take a look. Or at least it was official a couple hours ago. As of 8:28 p.m., it was announced that it's a 4-year deal, $60 million guarantee. What is that? I can't do math in my head. Was that 15 per year? Yeah, 15 per year. So I think it's right around what Chris Taylor should get. $15 million per season. There's also a club option for 2026. The Dodgers seem to like their club options. They like to do those club options a lot. But I think it just makes a lot of sense. And especially with, losing Seager, I think it just makes sense to bring him back. I think you just had to do it. And now, this would move Gavin Lux to the bench, at least projection-wise. But I think Gavin Lux, he's going to have an important role on this team. You never know what's going to happen with Justin Turner. You never know who can get hurt at any point. Or could you deal Gavin Lux? Could you deal away Gavin Lux now that you've lost Max Scherzer? Could you include Gavin Lux maybe in a trade? Maybe try and get some kind of a starting pitcher out there. Because, I'm going to be honest with you. I know Trevor Bauer could come back here at some point. But the rotation to me, it's, I don't know, man. Hey, remember how good the starting pitching looked last year? Remember how ridiculous it looked? And now I'm looking at it and I'm like, I don't know. And there's no Kershaw. I mean, Kershaw could still come back, but there's always something going on with him health-wise. I don't know. There's no Scherzer. I'm just looking at this, and I don't know. When I compare it to last year, it just makes me sad. I mean, I love Buehler. I like Urias. But I don't know. Gonsolin, it just feels like he hasn't gone to that next gear. I mean, Heaney, maybe they can figure something out with him. Maybe he could be like a low to mid 4 ERA kind of a guy. David Price, I mean, I don't know. He yelled at Dennis Eckersley, and I've just never liked David Price ever since. So whatever, you can go kick rocks. But I don't know. I just think maybe they could use Gavin Lux as trade bait. I don't know. Or you could keep him around, and and maybe he can live up to his potential. God, remember when Gavin Lux, a couple of years ago, this was like the cream of the crop, top prospect, and now it's just like, I don't know. But I like the move. I think Chris Taylor just makes a lot of sense. It just makes a lot of sense for a lot of teams, but especially the Dodgers, because he's been with the Dodgers now for how long, and he's just been a really good, solid player for them. The one thing to take notice with him is, the OPS, it was a short season last year, but when you compare it to 2019, it did dip a little bit. Slugging percentage went down, but the on-base percentage did go up a little bit. Batting average went down. The home runs stepped up a little bit. But either way, I still think Chris Taylor, he's going to give you 15, 20 home runs. He's going to give you, 60, 70 RBIs. I think he's just a good player to have, good veteran player. And, those Swiss Army knife kind of players, they're just always so good for the team. So good for the Dodgers bringing back Chris Taylor. To me, I was thinking it was so hard. I mean, here what am I even about to say here? I'm just terrible at predictions anyway. But with Chris Taylor, it was hard for me to try and pick a team where he would have gone to. I thought the Mets would have been good because they had a lot of injuries last year. So, but then ended up, signing a few guys. So I guess they didn't really need him at that point. I think he could have been a good fit with the White Sox. Could have been a good fit with the Red Sox. Could have been a good fit with the Phillies. Even the Rockies, I think, could have been a good fit. But in the end, I just think he just fit very well at home with the Dodgers. So let's move on here to our next story. So what does this mean? What does this mean for guys like Carlos Correa and Kris Bryant? So with the lockout now about an hour and a half away, 1 hour and 37 minutes away, it's looking like Kris Bryant, Carlos Correa, it's looking like maybe they're going to wait. It's looking like maybe they haven't seen the deal that they kind of like. They don't like these deals too much as of right now. John Heyman reporting tonight, Kris Bryant market is really starting to move. We have seen a lot on Kris Bryant in the last couple of nights, so it's not like there's a thin market for him. You're even seeing the Colorado Rockies starting to get in on it, which, hey, I'm all about it. I'm all about it. Rockies, go get him. But he is not too likely to have a deal tonight. Like Correa, he is fine waiting through the work stoppage. So there was something earlier today on Carlos Correa where it's looking like he's okay with staying put. According to MLB sources, so we did read this earlier. Someone in the chat told me this. According to MLB sources, the agent for free agent shortstop Carlos Correa has heard from the Yankees, Red Sox, Dodgers, Cubs, and Braves. He was offered 5 years, $160 by the Astros last month. I'm going to be honest, not going to be surprised. Not going to be surprised if he ends up going back to the Astros, just like Chris Taylor went back to the Dodgers. Wouldn't be surprised. John Heyman said 5 hours ago, Carlos Correa has received much interest, many offers, but is comfortable waiting through the coming lockout for the right one. And he will wait. The usual big spenders and a majority of playoff teams have not spent big yet. And if the tax threshold rises, that could benefit him. I always like seeing this picture. It always makes me laugh. Oh, that was such a sad episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Oh, so sad. But let me see. Was there anything else on Kris Bryant? Kris Bryant, what's going on? So you're starting to see a lot of teams emerge for him. John Heyman was saying the Mets, the Angels, even the Padres are among the teams that have shown interest in Kris Bryant. The Mariners, the Phillies, the Rockies, even the Astros have also checked in. I think the Mariners would be a great fit. I think, to me, I've been looking at Kris Bryant becoming a free agent this year, for the last couple of years, and I've been thinking, man, the Mariners they just sound pretty good if you ask me. The Phillies are interesting because they don't have a lot of wiggle room when it comes to the luxury tax, and do they feel like they're in a position to go over that luxury tax right now? Where kind of like how the Dodgers were last year, they were in a win now mode. They felt like they really had it in the bag, and they just blew through their own pockets. And like the Mets right now, they are desperate to win, and they are wanting to get back to the playoffs, and they feel like they might have a chance to win a World Series. And so those are the kind of teams that are in position to just blow through that luxury tax. But the Phillies, on the other hand, maybe not so much. I think the Phillies, they got to kind of prove they can get there first. So I don't know about them. The Rockies, they have a lot of payroll flexibility. Honestly, I'm kind of speculating right now, but I wonder if my Red Sox maybe get involved somehow. I don't know. I just look at the versatility of Kris Bryant, and he can move around. Alex Cora, Chaim Bloom, they love guys that can do that. So Kris Bryant with the Red Sox, and the Red Sox have checked in on Kris Bryant, going back to last year. So maybe they could be a dark horse team. Maybe that's Giraffe Neck Robbie coming out a little bit, but but then, also don't count out the Mets either. I still think they've added a lot of guys, but, especially position players. I know Max Scherzer was the talk of the town, but they added, Canna, Escobar, Marte. But Kris Bryant, you can still find a home for him on that team. The Angels, sure. Padres, probably not. I think the Padres need to focus on pitching. I thought Stroman would have been a good addition for them, but what do I know? What is Passan saying, X-Bolt? What is Passan saying? Jeff Passan, what did he say? Nick Martinez, San Diego Padres, 4-year, $20 million contract. Huh. The Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks is the team that he played for last year. Huh. Nick Martinez. Who the heck is Nick Martinez? I feel like I've heard that name. Where have I heard that name before? He was with Texas. Huh. Is that music still a little loud? Oh, let me turn that music down a little bit more. There we go. Yeah, with Texas not too long ago. Yeah, ERAs in the 5s. FIPS were pretty high. But he went over to Japan. Looks like maybe he figured something out over there. Let's see how he did over in Japan. 5-year, $20 million deal. Is that what he said? 5 years at 20? Where was that link? Or 4 years over 20. Yeah, it's not the... It's a 4-year deal. It's not like he's just getting a 1-year deal. With Japan... In Japan... Wow, he's actually done pretty well. 23 games last year, 1.62 ERA. Looking at the strikeouts, it's also Japan, so keep that in mind. 8.8 strikeouts per 9. I honestly, in Japan, I would like to see a few more. But maybe he could be a good reliever, over there and give the Padres a bit of a boost. So, but yeah, low key kind of a signing. Who knows? Maybe it ends up being a kind of one of those out of the box signings that ends up really working in your favor. So. But yeah, we're going to have to keep an eye out here for Kris Bryant. We're going to have to keep an eye out for Carlos Correa. It's looking like we're not going to see a deal tonight with them, but a lot of suitors for each of them. And they're both going to get themselves some big deals. I think they're okay with waiting. They've waited long enough for free agency. I think they can wait a little longer. But let's move on here. We got a few other signings that I'm going to roll through. Let's talk about some relievers first. We got Corey Knebel going to the Phillies. The Phillies really need bullpen help. I mean, anytime anyone ever goes to the Phillies, it seems like they just turn into an absolute dumpster fire of a reliever. But Corey Knebel, hey, small sample size last year, but he did extremely well. He was opening quite a few games in the postseason for the Dodgers. And overall, I really like this move. Let's take a look at Corey Knebel. I thought maybe, we'll talk about the Diamondbacks here in a second, but I thought, maybe the Diamondbacks can make a run at this guy. But overall, take a look here at the numbers. 27 games last year. He started 4. He had 3 saves, 25 innings. He was coming back from injury. So during that time, he pitched really well. Taking a look at the FIP, 2.90. That's pretty good. 10.5 strikeouts per 9, 3 walks per 9, under a home run per 9. Hey, good solid addition for the Phillies bullpen. Hopefully, he doesn't just, like I said, turn into a complete dumpster fire. So it seems to me like anytime the Phillies get these relievers, they end up just they just are awful. But as of right now, this guy's looking like your closer. I mean, they had some decent guys last year. Jose Alvarado, I guess, was okay. Connor Brogdon, pretty good. Sam Coonrod, okay. But, they got some guys here. I mean, I don't know, like these few guys back here. I don't know. But Corey Knebel, I think, is a really good option. I feel like I want to get a little stat here, a little statty here. Let's go. Here we go. I feel like the one thing with Corey Knebel is he actually, let me go to the player stats. If we go to relievers, let me actually pull up here. Let me go to Corey Knebel. Baseball Savant. Let's pull him up here. So with him, you're going to get an average of 96 miles an hour on the fastball, but he's got himself a good curve as well. If we go take a look at the pitch value on that curveball, He didn't throw it enough for it to really register in the rankings, but if you go back to 2020, he had 6.6 inches of vertical movement compared to the average curveball that ranked extremely high in 2020. 2018, it ranked extremely well. Corey Knebel, he has a good, very good curveball. If we take a look here, if you go to pitch value on Fangraphs, okay, you can go look at the value of the curveballs. Corey Knebel here, I believe, where was he? Where was he? I feel like he was up here somewhere. Corey Knebel. There he was. So 46 overall out of 761 relievers. Relievers. Yeah. So he ranks in the top 50 with his curve when it came to the value of his curveball. But when you take a look at the Phillies, if we look at the pitching or the team pitching rankings, let's go to the relievers. I feel like they didn't rank very well in terms of their curveball values. I could be wrong. No, they were only 26. When it came to the value of their curveballs, they did not throw curveballs very well last year. Negative 10.2 value. So the Phillies are getting one of the better curveballs in the game. So Corey Knebel, he's definitely going to help out in that department. It's your boy, $4.99 Super Chat. What's going on? Top 5 biggest steals this offseason so far, as in signings or trades. I say Gray and Cobb have to be up there. Also Ray. I'm a visual person. I need to see it. I can't. I have a potato brain. I can't fully remember. Where's the? Here we go. Free agent tracker. I gotta go through these. I don't know. I don't like to ever say like the top guys. I mean, I like to look at those smaller signing kind of guys. Steals. Let's go down. I did like that Kendall Graveman move. I did like that for the White Sox. You know, Brooks Raley could end up being a guy. You know, pretty decent guy for the Rays bullpen. He was pretty good with the Astros last year. Honestly, I think Corey Knebel's a great fit for the Phillies. I like that. I mean, Steven Matz, I mean, he was all right in the second half last year, and with that defense behind him, he's a contact kind of a guy. I think that, honestly, I think that could end up being good. But yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. You know, you want to talk about, like, you know, instead of going to, like, these underrated, you know, I'm talking more like underrated guys. You want to talk a steal here? You want to talk about a team that just went in and just took your lunch money, stole your lunch money right in front of you, you know, stole your lunch money, stole your pudding, stole your turkey sandwich, and laughed at you, and then proceeded, you know, to take the shirt off your back as well? Hey, Max Scherzer with the Mets. They literally just stole him. They just threw $43 million at him per year. And they laughed at everyone while doing it. That's the steal to me. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it looked like he was going to go back to the Dodgers. It looked like he was... Oh, Pine Cones has become a member. What's going on? How are we doing? Pine Cones, thank you so much for becoming a member. If you go to the community tab on the channel, you'll find the link for the Discord. Thank you so much. I don't know. Max Scherzer, to me, they just went in there and they swooped in and they took him. You didn't hear anything about the Mets. I didn't hear one thing about the Mets with Max Scherzer. You heard him going back to the West Coast. You heard him going back to the Dodgers, maybe the Giants. You know, Padres were kind of rumbling in there too. And the Mets just went in there and just took him. That, to me, what a steal. So, but Robbie Ray, you know, hey, good signing. But I definitely think you need to let this market play out more. So, you know, then we'll see, you know, some really, the real steals here. And you also kind of have to let it play out too. There's names here that we're not even thinking of. There's names here, you know, I'm looking at this list right now. There's more guys out there where, you know, guys that maybe got signed to minor league deals, you know, who could end up emerging next year as, you know, a good option for a team, you know. So we'll have to wait and see. But Really like the Corey Knebel move for the Phillies. They needed a guy for the back end. They need a shutdown guy. Bullpen has not been a very good spot for the Phillies. Let's actually go just to where they ranked overall in the bullpen. Let's see. Overall, the Phillies were 28th. So they need guys. They need shutdown guys. So I like it. Keenan Buckley has just subscribed. What is going on? What is Heyman saying? What is John Heyman saying? John Heyman. What are you saying, Mr. John? Oh, well, okay, here we go. Oh, wow. Breaking news. MLB owners vote unanimously to institute a lockout. It is expected to begin tomorrow, but unclear what time. Oh, we got more off season. All right. Okay. We got some time here. Mac Roberts just subscribed, so it looked like we had less than an hour and a half to go. But hey, we got some more time here. Okay, I'm liking it. I mean, we all expected the lockout coming, but the fact that it's going to be tomorrow, I mean, I guess it depends on what you mean by tomorrow. Do you mean after midnight? Do you mean tomorrow morning? After 7 a.m.? What do you mean? So, but yeah, let's move on to another reliever. Mark Melancon going to the Diamondbacks. Gotta love this move. The Diamondbacks are another team that really had a tough go. Even worse than the Phillies last year. The Arizona Diamondbacks had the worst bullpen last year statistically. A negative 1.2 wins above replacement. They really needed a guy for that bullpen. Really needed it. Let's go here. Let's go to the Diamondbacks bullpen. I still think that the Diamondbacks could be a pretty sneaky team next year. They got some pretty good guys on this team. Leading the way with Ketel Marte. If he can stay healthy, I know that's always a big if. It's always a big if. But they got some talent here. I'm a fan of Dalton Varsho. I like Josh Rojas. I like Pavin Smith. I thought he looked pretty good in his first year. Nick Ahmed, is that the guy you want to go with, moving forward? I don't know. He's a weak hitting guy, but he's going to give you a good glove. Christian Walker as well. Good gloves, but not really too much with the bats. But the rotation, I think Zach Gallen is a guy that can take a step forward. His season got completely interrupted this year. Had the fracture, and he was just never really got himself going. Madison Bumgarner, he wasn't as bad as he looked when he first went to the Diamondbacks. If you take a look here, if we go back to 2020, ERA of 6.48, FIP of 7.18. Both of those came down. The strikeouts went back up. The home runs went down. The walks went down. So maybe Madison Bumgarner's on the right track. So I think if they can get one more starting pitcher, I think they actually might be in decent shape. But Mark Melancon, this is a guy where Christopher Greenwood just subscribed. Mark Melancon, to me, this is a veteran guy. Here's the thing about Mark Melancon. He is not going to be, he's not the sexiest reliever out there. But look at what he does every single year. 64 innings this past year, 67 innings in 2019, about 40 innings in 2018. Sure, he definitely had some things going on, where he missed time. But overall, he's just been a workhorse in his career. But last year, he was awesome. 2.23 ERA, 3.36 FIP is a full run higher, but that's still pretty good. Actually, the strikeouts went up a lot after last year. So I like this move for the Diamondbacks. You're getting a veteran guy, and hey, he was in the National League West last year. So I like it a lot. I really do. I think the Diamondbacks are a sneaky team. Get a couple more pieces, and I think the Diamondbacks can make some noise. So we'll have to wait and see. But moving on here, so we've had a couple relievers come off the board. Hey, everyone. It's always a happy day. It's always a happy day when I get to talk about my Red Sox. I'm just saying, everyone. I'm smelling a World Series here. You know why? Because we just brought back Rich Hill. Rich Hill, well, that's what I am talking about, baby. Rich Hill. I love me some Rich Hill. Coming back to the Red Sox. This is a guy who just never really seems to get old. You know, how old is this guy now? He's what, 40, 42 years old, almost 42 years old, 41 as of right now. This guy has just stood the test of time. Let's go to the numbers with Rich Hill. Take a look. I mean, did you know that Rich Hill started 31 games this past year? You know, he started 31 games this past year, 158 innings pitched. He just stands the test of time, man. But going back here, overall, he split time between the Rays and the Mets. With the Rays, you know, sure, the FIP was higher at 4.55. That defense helped him out a little bit. It does scare me a little bit with the Red Sox infield. He is going to be someone where he'll get strikeouts, but he is going to give up a lot of contact as well. And actually, let me go to the leaderboards when it comes to the pitchers. Let's go to the batted ball stats. Let's go to... let's actually go plate discipline, contact percentage. Where did Rich Hill rank? I feel like he gave up a ton of contact. Hill. No, oh, that's qualified. Let's go to 100. Hold on. Yeah, I'll go to 140. No, he's not on this page. Or no, hold on. I got to look at contact percentage. Yeah, so Rich Hill, guys that threw 140 innings, at least 140 innings, he ranked 23rd in Major League Baseball in contact percentage. So, I don't know about that when it comes to the Red Sox defense. I don't know. It doesn't make me feel very good. But, if we go here to batted ball, now, the contact percentage worries me a little bit, but let's see how much of it was soft. Let's see how much was soft. All right, so he's not ranking in the top 30. He ranked 57th out of 68 guys who threw at least 140 innings. So he's not going to give up a lot of soft contact. So that still doesn't make me feel very good. But let's take a look at hard contact percentage. How much were these guys hitting him last year? He had the 16th highest hard hit percentage. So, as much as I would like to get excited about this move, I'm not really excited about it. I think he's a guy, he's going to give you innings. I think what they're trying to do, in my opinion, I mean, what do I know? I have a potato for a brain, but I think they're trying to replace Eduardo Rodriguez with these kind of low-cost kind of guys, you know, with a Michael Wacha, with a Rich Hill. You know, I don't think you're going to be able to replace Eduardo Rodriguez with one guy. Kind of think of how the Braves replaced Ronald Acuna Jr. last year. They didn't replace him with one guy. They replaced him with multiple guys. But it's also just giving you depth. So in that way, I like it for the Red Sox, but it's still not great overall. It really just depends, you know, is Tanner Houck going to be able to take a step forward? Is he going to be able to go deeper into games? That's going to be a big thing for him. Nick Pivetta ended up not really doing as good in the second half last year, but overall, I did like Pivetta, especially in the playoffs. He really stepped up big. So I think you could see a scenario where, honestly, you know, Rich Hill, Michael Wacha, they're just battling for starts at, you know, for the 5th spot. So I really think that's what it just comes down to. I think you're just replacing Eduardo Rodriguez with 2 guys. So that's just what I'm thinking about. Because Rich Hill, honestly, he's not going to be a lot of money. If we take a look here, do they give the dollar amount? Let me see. It's a 1-year deal. It's pending a physical, so who knows if he's even going to pass the physical. So I'm not seeing if there's a dollar amount. Let me go back here. Anything on the dollar amount? Not seeing the dollars, but we can go take a look at what his value was. Let me close out of some of these tabs. We can go to the value, and let's see what he was worth. So last year, he was worth $13.3 million. So he obviously spent more time with the Rays. But actually, funny enough, Owen Laframboise. I'm so sorry if I said that wrong, but welcome to the channel, my friend. But he actually ended up being more valuable to the Mets than he was to the Rays, funny enough. So, but I could see, you know, just because of his age, maybe like a 1 year, $10 million deal, something like that. Also, don't forget, they are replacing Garrett Richards, too. But I feel like you can replace Garrett Richards with guys down in the minor leagues. So, again, I'm looking at this more as you're replacing Eduardo Rodriguez with Waka and Hill. So, but hey, it's nice to see Rich Hill back with the Red Sox. When he went to the Red Sox back in 2010, this guy, man, he was putting up some pretty good numbers with the Red Sox in his career. In 44 games with the Red Sox, he had a 1.34 ERA, a 2.30 FIP, 10 strikeouts per nine. This guy was phenomenal when he was with the Red Sox. So maybe we can get that same Rich Hill magic again. We'll have to wait and see. But let's get to one more guy on the news tonight. This is a guy, hey, in 2020, it looked like maybe he was taking a step forward, kind of made a name for himself, but this past year he really took a step back. But not a bad signing, in my opinion. It could go either way, but Dylan Bundy, look at that Photoshop, huh? I did not do that. I did not do that. Someone on the Twins social media page did that, so credit to them. But hey, Dylan Bundy going to the Twins. Let's take a look at this. Here we go. So Dylan Bundy had a very terrible season last year. I think he gave a lot of Angels fans hope, just because he looked really good in 2020. He finished in the top 10 in Cy Young voting. He had a 2.95 FIP. He had a 3.29 ERA. He had about 10 strikeouts per nine. He had a really good numbers in 2020. But if we take a look here, I mean, the strikeout numbers were still okay, but he was giving up a lot of home runs. He just was way more hittable last year. Way more hittable. So let's actually see if there's anything we can find here on Dylan Bundy. This is a guy, man, where I don't know what it is. He just can't seem. I remember when he was a top prospect. He was a top pitching prospect when he got drafted. He got drafted 4th overall back in 2011. The only thing that was good with him was his the spin rate on the fastball. Everything else, he was just getting hammered last year. He's got 5 pitches that he can play with, 5 pitches that he tends to turn to. Pine Cones, $5 super chat. The MLB owners just voted to institute the lockout. Yeah, we were taking a look at that earlier. Let me pull that tweet back up. Oh, wait, what the heck am I typing here? But yeah, let's see, actually, is there anything else? Did Heyman tweet anything else? But yeah, no. Yeah, so looking like it's just a matter of what time is it going to be for tomorrow. What time is it going to be? So we'll have to wait and see. But hopefully they can, maybe extend it, to, maybe early tomorrow morning, like 8 a.m. or something like that, 9 a.m., maybe noon. We'll have to see. But Dylan Bundy, let me actually go here to his Baseball Savant page. So if we take a look here, so the one thing with Bundy, George Yu just subscribed. What's going on? How are we doing? Shadow Reaper, I don't know, man. I don't think they do it. I think if they would have given anyone the money, it would have been Mookie Betts. So I'm going to say no. But he's been using his fastball less and less. He's trying to use his off-speed pitches more and more. But let's take a look. Overall, his sinker, it's been losing movement. But he was able to gain movement on his curveball and his slider this past year. Miguel Figueroa, what's going on? How are we doing? Donovan Bureau, what's going on, my friend? How are we doing? But yeah, if we take a look, 2021, he had good movement on the fastball, but everything else was just kind of whatever. And actually, if you go back to 2020, he was just not really doing a whole lot, when it came to the movement of his pitches. I think he's just too hittable. I think his stuff, when you just look at his stuff, he's just too hittable. I mean, I remember watching him pitch. I don't know. This is a guy, he needs to locate. That's one thing about him. If he's not locating, his pitches just aren't really, he doesn't have a hard fastball. He doesn't have a lot of movement on the curve. So, I don't know. To me, he's just throwing meatballs out there. But maybe the Twins can figure something out with him. So, We'll have to wait and see. But everyone, if you are just joining, it is, I mean, no surprise, but owners unanimously vote to institute a lockout. So it's definitely a sure thing now. It's only a matter of, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when now. So, but that's all the news I have for tonight, everyone. I'm going to get going. I got to wake up early. I got to get to the gym before work tomorrow. Got to wake up early. But for the channel moving forward, I mean, I know we're kind of, we're not going to have any news. We're not going to have any free agent rumors to talk about for a little bit, but I'll still be coming on, and I'll find whatever it is to talk about, even if it's doing, MLB The Show kind of stuff, whatever. I mean, there's still going to be news to talk about. There's still going to be stuff to talk about, but it's looking like I'll probably have to find other things, to do on here, because I love coming on here. I love coming live, but unfortunately, we're just going to have to push through this. We're going to have to push through it together. So please, if you can, hey, be on the lookout for any streams. Make sure you hit the bell notification. I do know one thing. I'm definitely going to start, because we're going to be in a lockout, there's going to be no financial transactions. There's going to be no signings. There's not going to be really any of that stuff. I'm going to most likely start to pivot towards MLB The Show content and historical content, top 10 lists, ranking players, using tier maker. So, I mean, I was already planning on doing that this offseason anyway, but it's looking like I'm probably going to have to heavily utilize that. So definitely be on the lookout for all of that. So I'll do whatever I can to keep up with all of you. We're not going anywhere on this channel. We're not going anywhere. So baseball will still run through my veins over here on the channel, even if it's talking about something else. So everyone, have yourself a good night. If there's any, well, tomorrow's Thursday, so Monday through Thursday, I am live at night, anywhere, between 8, 9:30, somewhere in that range. So everyone, have yourself a good night. Have yourself a good day tomorrow, and I will see you tomorrow night. I'll talk to you next time.